Today's podcast is brought to you by Quantrix Modeler Introductory Training, teaching the fundamental foundation that you need to become a Quantrix master. Go to gumroad.com/l/Quantrix training to learn more. Hey, welcome back to another netcast. I'm Rich Lopez, Quantrix Authority. Sincerely appreciate you joining me today for episode number 169. Too few items from category specified when using the select function. So from time to time, you're going to come across some errors when you're writing your formulas in Quantrix. I had a coworker of mine come to me the other day, and he was having this problem. He had a list of part codes, and he wanted to get from this job outputs matrix the total close quantity and have it populate here in this quantity column based off of the part code listed right here as items, okay? And how he was going to do that is he was going to use a select statement, which we have right here, and he said, well, what do I want to do? I want to select the total close quantity, which is correct right here. My lookup or my key list is going to be my job outputs part code, which is right here. And then what do I want to look up? He said, I want to look up the part. And when he does that, what happens is he gets this too few items from category D specified on the left side of the formula. Extra items on the right will be ignored. So it's kind of like, well, what does that mean? Why is this happening? So I want to show you just a little bit with the dependency inspector. If I go ahead and I hit Control D and I go ahead and select any one of these cells that is being calculated by quantity, I can see that as I hover here within my dependency inspector, I can see that, job outputs, it looks like it's, or this quantity coming here, indeed looks like it's evaluating correctly as well as here. But when I go to part, it's given me a lookup value of 8. And I'm like, well, 8 is really this part index right here. That's not what I want. I want it to really be looking up this 12125. So again, if we go back to our formula, it says too few items from category D specified on the left side of the formula. So what it's saying is we haven't specified here in Quantrix what we want to be using. We've said part, but in order for this to work, since it is an item we're looking up here that's part of this category part, we need to actually specify it with at part like that. And then when I do that, it's going to bring back a correct value. So if I were to go ahead and I were to filter this for 121215, so 12125 here, I'm going to expect to see 417, and that's what I'm coming back with. Now, granted, I probably want to wrap this in a sum to get it to aggregate here, but that's not the point of this podcast. The point of this podcast is how do I fix that too few items on the left side of the formula. So again, if I were to go back to the way we were, what Quantrix is actually doing, because I didn't specify at part, is it's going out and it's looking at the first item that I have in category D, okay? So if I were to take unit of measure here and move it over, now if I were to go to the dependency inspector, I would expect to see this unit of measure of EA showing up as the lookup value. Again, that's because we're not specifying here that it needs to be at part, so it's just taking category D and it's taking the first item within that category and making it the lookup value. So again, if I'm getting this and I'm using an item, I need to make sure that or using a category, I need to make sure that I specify at part, and it will give me the desired outcome. Anyway, I hope you find that useful. If you have any questions about errors that you may be getting in your Quantrix models, I do hope that you'll reach out to me at quantrixauthority@gmail.com. I absolutely love Quantrix. I want to make you a Quantrix master. So please join me again for another episode of Quantrix Authority with Rich Lopez.